Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 10, Episode 5, Cut from a Different Cloth. So real quick before we get into this week's episode, I have to show you guys a picture from one of you, Kelly Chicago. A couple of weeks ago when I did the opening skit as Jennifer, I had fashioned a Chanel necklace out of tinfoil. Kelly commented and said, I'm going to have to do that for Thanksgiving. And I said, oh, I'm going to need to see a picture of that. Well, guess what? She did it. She and her family spent Thanksgiving together, and the only resources she had was tinfoil. And you guys, the chain of the necklace was the pull chain for the light in the closet. I mean, how resourceful is that? So I just had to show you this picture because she's so adorable and so creative. I really loved it, Kelly. And I love that I inspired you to be so crafty. So funny. Thank you for showing me that picture. Also, while I'm thinking about it, a couple of you have asked if I have a mailing address. And I do. It is on my channel. If you go to my channel page, under the tab About, you'll see the address there. Please do not feel like you have to send me anything. So yeah, if anybody wants to send me a card, you can send it to that address. Thank you for asking about that. Okay, let's get to the episode. We are still in Jamaica. It's the next morning, and we have the montage of phone calls. Melissa calls Joe. Margaret calls Joe. And if Teresa could, she would be calling Joe. And Dolores calls Dr. David Principe. I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name, but that's not important. What is important is that we have another woman who puts her boyfriend's name in her phone with the title doctor. Come on, Dolores, it's your phone. You know he's a doctor. We all know he's a doctor. Anyway, she's trying to call him and it goes right to voicemail. So she calls Frank instead. He picks up, who, by the way, is in her phone as Big Frank C. C. She has to put his last initial in there. What? You guys know I love to see how everybody names their friends in their phones. I get a kick out of that. They're kind of going over last night's events with their significant others. Jackie tells Evan that she and Teresa kind of made peace with each other, but now Dolores is calling her a dog with a bone, and he's like, I don't like that. Neither does Jackie. Then Jennifer goes into Dolores's room. They're kind of talking about things, and Dolores said, I don't want to get into it with Jackie. I don't care. I'm over it. Whatever happened yesterday, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And Margaret is on the phone with Joe telling him that she made that joke about the 21-year-old rum. And he's like, it was funny. And she's like, I thought it was funny too, Joe. So she's justifying what she said, I guess. And Melissa's telling Joe the same story. And she said, we all looked at each other like we couldn't believe Margaret said that. And Joe Gorga goes, and Teresa didn't say anything? And she's like, no, we couldn't believe it. And he goes, yeah, well, it'll come out. Sometimes it takes Teresa about 12 hours to process something. Margaret's asking Joe what he's going to do that night. And he said, the guys are going to play poker at Bill's house. Then we see a flashback to Melissa's party. And Bill, what are we going to do when the ladies are gone? Poker, baby. I just cannot see Bill as one of the guys. Just your average vampire hanging with his buddies. I can't. Now in the villa, Jennifer and Dolores are having breakfast. Melissa walks in. Good morning, ladies. And she grabs Dolores's boob when she says hello to her. And Dolores is like, David doesn't even do that to me. I'm going to start dating Melissa Gorga. Now Teresa is up. Oh my God, I need coffee. And they're like, there's no more cream. There's no more cream. I need cream. Melissa's like, okay, so listen, I'm going to get dressed and then I'm going to go check on Jackie and Margaret. Why do you need to check on them? And she's like, I just want to say hi. We're on vacation together. Not really. Their room is far, far away. bring supplies because halfway there you may need to make camp for the night. So Melissa gets to Margaret and Jackie's room and they're kind of talking about the day and what they're going to do. And Margaret and Melissa are talking about her having a kid again. And Margaret's like, I'm still in shock over that. And she's like, why is everybody in shock? And she said, you know what? We're party girls. If this is what you want to do, that's great. You know what you do? You freeze your eggs. It's a good insurance policy. So then Jackie comes into the room and they're talking, of course, about Dolores not liking her. Melissa goes, I think Jennifer has diarrhea of the mouth. And she said, it's just that I thought we were friends, you know? She doesn't have to like me, but it kind of hurt my feelings. Melissa, I don't know if she was trying to make it better, but she now gives a little bit more information than even Jennifer gave. And says, Dolores just feels like because the way you were raised and we were raised differently, that she just can't really get close to you because of that. Okay. So now Jackie's like, how was I raised? And she makes a really good point because she said, if I ever said that to Dolores, if I spoke about the way she was raised, if I presumed to know the way she was raised, she would have a fit. And she's right. There just is a double standard here. And the sooner everybody realizes that, the better. Jackie, you are low man on the totem pole. You know, Margaret's like, I would like to think that Dolores wasn't that close-minded because I'm different than her. We're all different. Melissa's like, yeah, we are all different. And we can all get along. So Melissa said that when she goes to the beach with them, she's going to clarify what she meant by different, if it was a good different or a bad different. Jackie's like, well, I'm sure it wasn't a good different. It wasn't. So then Margaret said, Teresa didn't seem to know what I was talking about when I said 21-year-old. And Melissa goes, I can't believe you said that. And Margaret said, did she say anything? And she goes, no, she didn't say anything. But let me tell you something. Teresa needs 12 hours to process something. Melissa just says whatever Joe tells her. Remember before she was saying, I'm going to get in the middle of this. That's because Joe told her she was going to get in the middle of it. Now Joe tells her Teresa needs 12 hours to process something. And Melissa says it as though it is like the exact time that she needs to process. Anyway, Melissa goes, I could be wrong, but don't be surprised if you get a random phone call like, what did you mean by that? Okay, so Jennifer, Margaret, and Jackie are ready for their excursion that day. They are going horseback riding in the water. And Melissa, Dolores, and Teresa are going to hang out at the beach that day. Jennifer says that she has never ridden a horse before. When she was a kid, she's just picked last for sports, never liked them. And in her confessional, she said, which is so ironic because now I'm dodging things all the time whenever my kids throw something because they're savages. But they're my savages and I love them. At least she recognizes it. Okay, the horseback riding in the water. Normally I would be saying I hate when these ladies are very ungracious guests in someone else's country. I don't like that, but I'm sorry, I would have a hard time with this as well. They had to take their shoes off and then walk through the sand barefoot, which was covered in horse poop. And then the horses were pooping in the water and it was just floating. And I mean, Bravo kept showing close-ups of it, which didn't help. It wouldn't have been great for me. Yes, I know. Fish and everything else poops in the ocean, but this was so concentrated right at the shoreline there. It just, yeah, no. Meanwhile, on another beach, we've got the other three ladies, and they're bonding over, like Teresa said, we're just three Jersey girls. Melissa is reminiscing about her days at the Jersey Shore. In her confessional, she's like, the Jersey Shore was like my stomping grounds. Good hair, good tan. The girls all had their nails did. And then it cuts right to Dolores saying pizza boxes, liquor bottles, condoms everywhere. Oh, good times. Back with the girls who are taking the horse ride through the water, Jennifer falls in. Peg goes under everything. I mean, I do feel like it was pretty far out from shore, at least far enough out that I don't imagine that there's shit everywhere, but still, I would be tempted to take a Silkwood level shower back at the room. In Margaret's confessional, she goes, she's swimming in sewage. I mean, she's definitely going to have to take an antibiotic when we get out of the water. Yeah, it wasn't great, guys. Back to the ladies on the beach. Now the conversation has turned to Joe Giudice and if he is going to win his appeal. Teresa's like, I just hope there's a good outcome, like for my daughters. And Melissa said, obviously you're fighting very hard for him and for your daughters, but do you think he's going to win? Teresa said, I want to know what you guys think. Now, I feel like that was a trap, and Melissa fell for it because she told her what she honestly thought. I'm not sure she should have done that, but in any case, she said, I really want him to come home, but I do think they're going to make an example of him. Teresa, look, I just got the chills when you said that. She said, I'm sorry. And Teresa goes, I just want to be happy again. I feel like I haven't been happy in so long. And Melissa said, I feel like you are. I feel like there's a rainbow at the end of all this, and you are going to be happy, whether it's with Joe or not. I don't know. Okay, so after the horseback riding, they sit down to have a drink and they're talking. It's Jennifer's birthday. I guess that day is her actual birthday. I'm not sure. But then the next night is when she's going to have the roast. And Jackie's like, are you going to be telling offensive jokes? She's like, no, I'm going to try and keep it clean. I can't, you guys, I cannot wait for this. But Jackie started to talk about Dolores. I thought Dolores and I were friends, so it was hard for me to hear that she didn't consider me a friend. Jennifer said something like, maybe you can just talk it through with her. And she's like, I don't think we're ever going to be friends. And Jennifer goes, well, see, now you're being negative. Don't think like that. And Jackie's like, no, I'm just being realistic. Yes. I think it would be ridiculous for Jackie to think that there's a hope of her and Dolores becoming close. Okay, maybe she was talking about Teresa, because then Jackie said, I don't feel like I could ever ask her about Joe or something. I don't think we're that close. And Margaret said that she had asked her actually about Joe. And then she said she has a lot of people that she has to be strong for. So she doesn't really get to break down, which is true. And then she said, I think Teresa and I have a lot in common because I've got this whole lawsuit thing and, the legal system is not always just. Then Jennifer said, do you mind me asking what the lawsuit is about? So she does explain it a little bit more. Last week I didn't totally understand. She said, okay, so I'm in licensing. I don't make my own products. So one of my licensees used a very similar image, that whale image, to this Vineyard Vines. And they tried to sue her for $12 million. I think they settled at $500,000. That's what I think I saw. And Margaret said, I'm still paying off the last $100,000 to them. Okay, now Teresa, Melissa, and Dolores are having lunch on the beach. And Dolores said, let me tell you, I think we chose the better thing to do, huh, ladies? And she doesn't even know about the poo water. So she said, Melissa, you talked to them this morning. What's going on with them? And she said, well, I will tell you this. I think Jackie's a little insulted that you don't consider her a friend. Dolores, oh my God, she's so worked up. I don't care about it anymore. I don't even think about it. I literally woke up this morning like, whatever. Well, that's kind of the point, Dolores. You don't care, and she does. Melissa actually said, I think she doesn't understand why you think her upbringing is so different, and she feels that if that was ever brought up to you, you would lose your mind. And her response, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. Okay, but you didn't answer the question, Dolores, because you know damn well she's right. And the hypocrisy doesn't end there, because Teresa, she just harps on things and won't let it go. Okay, I believe you're still upset with her because she just mentioned that your husband was in jail. I was with Jackie last year on this, you guys, because it was so absurd. The way they were treating Melissa with not forcing her husband to see his father more. You remember that storyline. You don't see me. 2 weeks you don't come and see me. Melissa was trying to say, I don't control my husband. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but Melissa was trying to say, I can't control what my husband does or doesn't do. Teresa said, yes, you can control him. And Jackie said, Teresa, do you really feel like if you could control your husband, he'd be in jail right now? That was it. That was her fatal mistake. And she will pay for that until she's off the show for good, which might be the end of this year. I don't know. Okay, wow, Melissa gets real insightful in her talking head. Dolores said, I think I've given her enough chances, but you know what? I think she's very sensitive, and I just can't deal with that. In Melissa's talking head, she said, I don't think Jackie is overly sensitive at all, and I think Dolores was raised to not express your feelings at all, or that is a sign of weakness, and I think that's weak. Okay, Melissa Gorga, I see you, girl. Now, the next part I don't get, because Melissa said that Margaret was mad too. And Dolores goes, at me? Why? And she said she doesn't like that you're talking about her. I don't remember any of that. I don't know if that was Melissa stirring the pot a little bit and getting Margaret in trouble too, or what. Teresa said, well, she wasn't very nice. Did you guys catch that dig last night about the 21-year-old rum? And here we go. Okay. We're just about at the 12-hour mark. Joe Gorga knows his sister. Okay, guys. Now we're back in Jersey, and it's the guys' night. Yeah, we are at Bill's house. Joe Benigno comes first. He's like, hey, and Bill, hey, Joe, ready for a guy's night? Poker with a vampire. What will that be like? Now Frank Sr. is there, Joe Gorga, and either having a drink, they're waiting on Evan. And, you know, just bros hanging out. Joe Gorga kind of razzes Joe B about having his jacket on still. And he goes, oh, I didn't know how cold it was going to be. You know, I'm old. I'm 62. And Joe said, that's why Margaret's in Jamaica. You can't keep up with her, huh? And he goes, I'm the one that's the problem at our house. I want sex twice a day. Oh, Joe Gorga, of course, wants it 8 times a day. I mean, it's just a pissing match, and it's stupid. And poor Bill is just laughing uncomfortably. Oh. I mean, I don't know how often vampires mate, but whatever. He does not seem comfortable with conversation. Okay, so the food has come, and they're heading back to the pool house because that's where they're going to hang out. And Evan is going to meet them there. This picture of them walking to the pool house, they look so tiny. It just puts in perspective how enormous the grounds must be for this place. I mean, they all joked when they came in the front door. Everybody had a joke. Like, Joe Gorga said, oh my God, is this the Taj Mahal? And Frank Sr. said, do I have to check in at the front desk? We know the house is enormous, but like just this pathway they're walking on to the pool house, it just looks so huge. Okay, this is the second time now. Bill has affected this sort of petulant tone in his voice. He says to the guys, well, we might not be in Jamaica, but I think we can have a good time. It was very reminiscent of the Mommy's leaving us, Olivia. It's a little weird. So now Bill says, Joe, Jen tells me that you got her drunk at Melissa's party. You were giving her shots all night. I gotta tell you, that night was the last time I got some. He's trying, you know. That guy talk does not come easy for him. Then Joe Gorga tells him, I don't know, man, maybe you're doing it right, only having sex once a month. It keeps her wanting more, but I couldn't do that. And then we get his confessional where he goes through his scientific explanation of how he needs to release the poison or it'll just back up inside his body. And he's like, I couldn't do it just once a month. You must jerk off every day, right, Bill? Poor Bill. Bill's like, oh, God, that is one vampire who cannot wait for boys' night to be over. Back in Jamaica, everyone's getting ready for dinner. Jennifer and Teresa are dancing because it's her birthday dinner, my birthday dinner. All right, so they all meet up in the lobby before getting in the van to go to the restaurant. And when Margaret and Jackie come walking up, I should say back in the room, Jackie asked Margaret to please just do her a favor and help her avoid sitting next to or across from Dolores. She said, I just want to have a good time tonight. I don't want to start anything or be in the mix. Margaret's like, yeah, I agree. So now they all get together in the lobby. Everyone's like, oh, you look so great, and kissing hello and everything. Jackie says, hi, Dolores. Oh, God, yeah, hi. I doubt we're going to be able to get away without having a problem for this meal. All the ladies are in the van heading to the restaurant. Jackie said something like, oh my God, I'm about to have dinner without my kids. I can't believe it. And they're talking about the guys back at home. And Jennifer said, I told Bill not to watch porn. And Melissa goes, is Bill a porn guy? Somehow I don't see that. And she's like, I've caught him watching it a few times. Cut back to the guys in Jersey. Joe Gorga, Bill, you watch porn? Well, I have seen a pornographic film, yes. Oh, God, it's so painful. I never thought it would be this painful to watch a vampire try to assimilate in a room full of human men. I feel sorry for him. Frank Sr.'s having a few good lines, though, because he goes, oh, my God, you just took all the sexuality out of it. It's not a pornographic film. It's porn. They're laughing. They all do another shot. And then Frank says, all I'm noticing right now is that with every single shot we take, Joe Gorga's zipper goes down further and further. Okay, the ladies are ordering their food at the restaurant. And Teresa looks up at the bar and she sees this sign. And she's like, oh my God, look at this. And she gets up and takes it off the shelf. And she goes, look at this. A sign just for me, right, Margaret? And she's holding it up. And Margaret reads, any woman can have the body of a 21-year-old as long as she buys him a few drinks first. Uh-oh. Yes, Margaret is realizing it is time to pay the piper. Yeah, no one gets away with a joke like that without being punished. So Margaret said, Teresa, were you offended by that? And she goes, yeah, I was, because I know Marge always thinks before she speaks. So I was like, why would she want to do that to me? She knows that article just came out. And I don't know, she somehow gets out of it. She literally wants us all to believe that she didn't even remember anything about that guy. Come on, Margaret. You can do better than that. And believe it or not, Margaret changes the subject to something that she thinks is less volatile. So Jennifer, how's it going? You're practicing for the roast tomorrow night. I think it's going well. I mean, I'm not going to bash people. Hold up for a second. I thought this was supposed to be everybody doing impersonations of each other. But apparently this is just a show that Jennifer's going to put on, where she is going to roast everybody else, just her. That's going to go worse than I thought. Okay, well, Dolores said, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say something to Jackie. Last night I said that if something's bothering you, you have to go right to the source, and I can't be a hypocrite. So I heard today you've been very upset with me. And Jackie said, yeah, I am upset. For what? She said, the truth is, yesterday when Jennifer said you didn't consider me a friend, that caught me off guard because I did consider you to be a friend. Then to hear that somebody doesn't like me because I was raised differently felt like a judgment. And Dolores, I didn't say it like that. And she's like, what's wrong with the way I was raised? Dolores, it's just different. So Margaret said, Dolores, I'm not going against you, but I just want to say I was raised totally different. And I consider you a very good friend. Dolores said, listen, Jackie is just cut from a different cloth. And she is just different in a way that I really don't want to get closer to her. Jeez, Dolores. Jackie's like, okay, but really, what is so different about me? And she's like, just the way you fight, the way you get under my skin, and you get so upset about things that, a lot of people here don't. Oh my God, are you serious? I like Dolores a lot, but that is some crazy bullshit right there. You think these women all can take a joke and don't get mad about certain things? And you're saying that to Jackie, who really was just trying to figure out why Teresa thought that Melissa could control another human being. And Teresa went insane over that. But yeah, the people there aren't nearly as sensitive as Jackie is, right? I mean, this is crazy. Jackie's like, I get more upset than all of you when you guys fight about everything? And then we get a great montage. Really, all the hits. Welcome back, scumbag. And your lips look like a monkey's asshole. A monkey's asshole that you like to suck. Probably. All my favorites. I don't know. I mean, she is really trying to make Jackie think that she holds a grudge. And Jackie's like, I really don't. Jennifer and I, we made up quickly. Teresa and I worked to try to make that work out with her. I don't know where all this judgment is coming from. Dolores is like, it's just how I feel. And now Melissa goes, she's taking it as an insult. In Teresa's confessional, this has got to be the funniest part of the whole thing. She said, Jackie takes everything so seriously. If somebody didn't like me, I just wouldn't care. Oh, yeah. If only we could all be as easygoing as Teresa. Then Dolores goes, and by the way, everybody else said the same thing. No, they didn't. She was the one going off on Jackie and Jackie being raised differently, and in an Italian household, we're all about family, family, family. Maybe Teresa chimed in, and Jennifer agreed that she didn't take that joke well, her impersonating her. But nobody else said anything, and Melissa was the one that said, you guys, she's my friend. Melissa didn't partake in that. Now she's saying, by the way, Jackie, everybody here agrees. And Jackie's like, stop making me feel like it's y'all against me. And Dolores goes, Melissa, did you say it? She's different than us. She comes from a different place, not cut from the same cloth. Did you say that? And Melissa's like, no, you said that, Dolores. We get a flashback. Yeah, you said it, Dolores. But yeah, Melissa's like, no, you said it. Dolores, are you fucking kidding me? Dolores is either delusional or she is just doing anything to get out of this. You guys, Melissa for the win tonight. In her confessional, again, she's like, I don't know why Dolores is trying to get me to turn against Jackie, but I actually like Jackie because unlike Teresa and Dolores, she doesn't hold a grudge and she doesn't act crazy. I'm not so in love with Jackie this season, and I really think she's probably not going to be around for long, but I was on her side last year. And I liked that she stood up to Teresa, even though that's a losing battle. I liked that she was keeping Teresa accountable in some small way. But right now, I appreciate that Melissa isn't turning on her. Anyway, Jennifer starts saying something and Jackie goes, no, don't. And she goes, I'm going to make my point. I'm trying to give my 2 cents. And then Margaret says, Jennifer, no offense, but you're the one that started this whole thing. And she's like, how did I start it? And then Melissa said, listen to me. If you didn't say anything last night, she wouldn't even know Dolores doesn't like her. Jennifer's confessional. This is my birthday. I don't know how everything ends up being my fault. I do. And I love it. Jackie gets a real close to the edge, and I thought she was going to go over, but she said, by the way, Dolores, there are people at this table who go on and on and on about the same thing, and you don't say a word about that. So honestly, I think it's just that you don't like me because I'm not old school Italian. And she goes, Jackie, you know what? You're just not for me. I'll let you do what you don't let other people do, so go ahead and talk, or something like that. Jackie's like, stop making judgment calls about me, okay? You don't know me. I understand. I hit a nerve. She's like, you don't know shit about me. You know, you're making judgments, and Dolores is like, that's why we're not friends. Dolores ends up saying, you know what? You're right, Jackie. I'm not your friend because I don't know you. And Jackie goes, I don't want to be your friend. And she goes, I don't want to be yours either, to be honest with you. Jackie, I don't consider it a loss, Dolores. Dolores, okay, Jackie. And on that note, they all kind of get up from the table and have a very quiet car ride back to the hotel. And they get to the lobby elevators, and Jennifer's like, what are we all doing? Are we just going back to our rooms? And there's just real awkward silence for a long time. And then Jackie and Margaret are like, yeah, we're just going back to our room. So they part ways. Back in the villa, Dolores is like, oh, God. I mean, it didn't have to come to this. Like, I hate that it keeps getting brought up again. Dolores, you're the one that brought it up tonight. I truly do not think Jackie was going to say a word. I really don't. She was down at the opposite end of the table, and she just wanted to have a nice dinner. And then Melissa said, can I say something? I understand why she's hurt. You know, when somebody says they don't like you, everybody wants to be liked. And Jennifer's like, yeah, I have to say I felt bad for her. And I didn't want to feel like we were ganging up on her. It was my birthday dinner, and, you know, she came here for my birthday. Dolores said, I think she's insecure. That's what I think it is. And Jennifer goes, yeah, but you actually hurt her feelings. Dolores, whatever. And that's the problem. Not everybody's going to like everybody else. Dolores really does not like Jackie. It wasn't a fight they got in. There's nothing to get over. There's nothing to apologize for. She just doesn't like her. I think they need to let it go. Back in the room with Jackie and Margaret, Jackie was basically saying what Melissa said in her confessional, which is, you know, I don't mind being a little bit different than Dolores, you know. I don't mind being a little softer or more sensitive. She was raised to you just swallow all your pain and you don't show anybody how you're feeling. Your husband cheats on you when you're 9 months pregnant. It's all good. It's all good. You just stuff it down. And I'm okay not being like that. Cut back to the villa, and Dolores is like, you know, let's just face it. Jackie's a pain in the ass. Okay. And so they decide to just call it a night. Melissa said, don't forget, we're swimming with the dolphins tomorrow, because that's the trip that she planned for everybody. What could go wrong there? Hopefully no dolphins will be harmed in that scene. And then Jennifer said, and don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to be roasting your asses. Hope nobody gets offended. Why would they? This group of ladies, according to Dolores, have very thick skins. Nothing bothers them. But the roast is going to be next week. I mean, it better be next week, right? I've been waiting so patiently. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. I love all your comments. Don't forget to leave one. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And you know what? Hit the subscribe button. What the heck? Give me a try. Okay, that's it for me. I will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Bye.